question was prompted by someone who wanted to know, should I continue to stay in a church that has a woman as a pastor?
Well, that church has no pastor.
Now, not to press, but I have a similar question.
You know, there's water here. I can get rid of you.
Dr. Godfrey's trying to hide out, so let me just go to you. Where was Jesus between the crucifixion and the resurrection? You've rested up this whole time. Get in the game.
I'm a church historian. Well, they're asking you a historical question, Bob.
I'd like to say a few words about the immutability of God.
Are tongues for today? If so, with what purpose or meaning?
Are what?
Tongues.
Of course our tongues are for today. How could we speak? Who thinks these questions up, R.C.? I thought we had a bright group. Are your tongues for today? No, they're for next Thursday. You're such a bad boy. Oh, I really.
Let's go ahead and go to our first one. And we've really picked a zinger of a question here for you to start out with.
Hi, Dr. Sproul. I'm a big fan of yours. And I met you in 1999. I'm sure you remember. And we all would like to know, how many hole-in-ones have you made?
Well, you are a big fan. You need to go on a diet.
I resemble that remark.
This is what you need to do, okay? Go, you have your Strong's Concordance in
Sir, I don't use Strong's Concordance. I teach Hebrew.
And, on the briefing the other day, I was talking about the fact the New York Times had an article about the difficulties of transgender people getting medical care, and it pointed out that, and forgive me, I'm going to talk biology here for a minute. Don't worry. But it pointed out, and I love this, it said that personal physicians to transgender women must remember they have a prostate gland. Which means they are not women.
Do you really believe that it parallels the method of exegesis that we utilize to demonstrate those other things?
No. Mission accomplished. Good work.
If you become a Christian, you're going to become a member of Christ's body, which is the church, the only institution that Christ gave to humans to be a part of. What if they're not perfect? It's like, well, I'm not going to get married because there's no perfect woman.
I found one.
Good one. That's a good one.
I'm going to be happy when I go home.
I was speaking hypothetically. I'm married, happily married. I'm happily married for 24 years. I'm just speaking hypothetically.
But
here.
I'm happily married for 49 years.
Yes.
And you better shape up or you may not make it.
Dr. MacArthur?
In Acts chapter 18, when you come across Apollos, it is mentioned that he was instructed in the way of the Lord, and being fervent in spirit, he was speaking and teaching accurately the things concerning Jesus, being acquainted only with the baptism of John. And then later we are told that Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they took him aside and explained to him the way of God more accurately. And that's a great model right out of the book of Acts for correcting an inadequate teaching. Apollos obviously did not mean to misconstrue the issue of baptism. We need to expose false teachers who willfully and intentionally are attacking the very foundation of the gospel itself.
Yeah, Apollos did what the best of his knowledge until Priscilla and Aquila told him to baptize babies.
I was just reading this book of Acts.
You made a kind of throwaway comment I want to follow up on about getting yourself out of the text. I think that's one of the big problems in popular preaching today, that pastors seem to do the opposite. They look for ways to put themselves in the text as if that's a way of contextualizing or something like that. My friend Chris Roseborough calls it narcissus. Narcissistic eisegesis. And that's it.
How would you explain what being reformed means? That's one for you, Alistair.
Well, you start by reading your Bible, and then you become biblical. Then you're reformed.
You have to understand, this man likes simple.
I have both friends and foes on Twitter.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
That's why I pointed to Phil first to answer this.
Well, bro, don't get to pointing, because
Well, let's face it, I'm an easy target. I'm not as likable as any of you guys.
Right.
But I have to say, it was Owen yesterday who got threatened by a woman who said he needs to be punched in the jaw.
Wow.
And
here it is, right here.
I didn't agree with her Twitter, by the way.
You literally could punch me in the jaw, though, if you wanted to.
I would. If I had to punch you, it would be in the nose. But before we move too far away from the question about women, here's another question. This is the last one, I promise. But I'm just giving you the ones that came in.
No, I know. You're not responsible for any of this, Phil.
Now, what if your pastor affirms all of those things, at least gives lip service to it, but she's a woman who believes...
Well, that isn't even there's no discussion there, because the Bible couldn't be more clear on that. I permit not a woman to teach or take authority over a man. That's end of case. Look, there are 66 books, but you know this, don't you, Phil?
I do. I do. You want me to bail you out here?
No.
Larry King. Because we've had ministers on our program who said, you either believe in Christ or you don't. If you believe in Christ, you're going to heaven. And if you don't, no matter what you've done in your life, you ain't. I wonder what minister would ever say that on the Larry King program. It wasn't Deepak, I'll tell you that.
So how do we make distinctions between the truth revealed to us in Scripture versus truths or facts we discover in natural revelation or through human experience? For example, laws of logic, scientific discoveries, etc. And this questioner says, you can let RC take a shot at it too.
I can what?
You can take a shot at it too.
Oh, good. I won't need to if you do it right. King of the one-liners.
Well, we might as well just save time and you go ahead and answer it.
Most of these questions are directed at John. They want to know how he really feels about Joel Osteen.
He did prevaricate a lot.
You know, I love it when I hear questions that I've never heard before in my whole life, which is, we've been listening to the same questions for 50 years, and, well, at least I have, you haven't, but, and when you get a new one, it's really exciting. So, John, you'll like this, because you have never heard this one before. if Samson was to never touch a dead body, how's come he killed 1,000 men with the jawbone of a donkey? Bet you never heard that one before.
No, I never heard that one before. I'm not sure I needed to hear it now.
And I want you to know, brethren, I love the Reformers. I love to read the Reformers, but I'm really getting tired of that language. The Reformers didn't call themselves Reformers. They just wanted to be biblical. And you can sit in Starbucks all day long with your skinny jeans on and talk about Reformers, or you can pick up a Bible and start getting biblical. And I don't know why you're clapping.
Listen to the response of one of the biggest, grandest Christian so-called leaders in America. Yeah, I don't know. I still think he'd make a great weatherman someday, but... His wife's really a better preacher, but anyway. So here it goes. Can we get some air conditioning in here?
Socialists want the country to be... The socialists want you to smoke pot. They need a populace that can understand their economic arguments. Wow, man, that's heavy.
And so as a result of that, I was telling everybody that, growing up, I was going to be an astrophysicist, and they were just dumbstruck.
You should do, as I listen to you, bro, I'm thinking about one of those Holiday Inn Express commercials where you can say, well, I'm not an astrophysicist, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So you can just wing it, bro. Just say the word and just wing it.
So not many people know this, but Virgil and I graduated from the same high school in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes, we did.
Nathan Hale High School. And
I don't think they claim us, though, Phil.
No, but neither can they claim any astrophysicists.
There you go.
I think the most famous graduate of our high school is Gary Busey.
Oh.
And he's kind of typical, isn't he?
Can I ask one other thing? Because I talked to a reporter about this the other day, and she was completely scandalized. I could just see, the blood was, she'd met one of these, finally she'd found one. And she'd heard we existed, but now she found one. And so I decided I've got to go. No, these reporters have this National Geographic moment with evangelicals who really believe in Orthodox Christianity. And all of a sudden go, wow, they do exist. Fascinating species. But at one point, I simply thought, okay, I've got to go ahead. I said, I want you to also understand that I don't think Unitarians worship the same God. I don't think Mormons worship the same God. And I said, I went on down. I said, this isn't a list in which we don't think Muslims worship the same God. We don't think anybody worships the same God unless they come to him through Jesus Christ our Lord. And then there's one Lord, one faith, one baptism. It's pretty exclusive.
King. What if you're Jewish, as he is? What if you're a Muslim and you don't accept Christ at all? Question mark. The answer, I'm very careful about saying who would and who wouldn't go to heaven. I don't know. King, if you believe you have to believe in Christ, they're wrong, aren't they? Referring to the Jews, referring to the Muslims. The answer. I'm just reading this, okay? Well, I don't know.
You might be the only person that's ever preached here that has a rap album. I feel like I'm going to give an account before God for every single opportunity I missed And I feel like, would you agree, that would be a missed opportunity to not have Owen rap for us? Amen?
Little faster.
Real quick.
Little faster. Yeah, yo. I'm up here on stage with my man Artavanus. Show us what the art of man is. Yo, we're not going farther, but I will tell you this. I'm friends with John MacArthur. I'm dropping bombs up here. They don't know what I got up in my ear. I can't stop. Christ will appear in the sky, and it's gonna be so fly. I will fly to meet him. I will greet him. And yo, in his praise he will seek him. We will seek him. We will be him. Not ontologically, but theologically. Yeah, there we go. That's it. That's it.
Give it up for Owen. Well done. Okay.
I don't know if I believe they're wrong. I spent a lot of time in India with my father. I don't know about all their religion, but I know they love God. No, they don't. They hate God. I don't know. I've seen their sincerity so on worldwide television, so I don't know. Give us some men who know the truth. And who will declare the truth. And who will stand with Athanasius and Polycarp and Calvin and Luther and Whitfield and Edwards, and who will declare from the housetops that the gospel is the power of God unto salvation.